I'm Todd, and this is my 1988 Lamborghini Countach Replica. It's a car I've been in works for about 30 years. I finally got it about 4 years ago. If you've been following my website and blog, I more or less did that for a personal diary, but decided, this year I'll make it a little more personal. So, show myself. So, the videos that I do are basically living with the Replica and this Countach one in particular. And I documented it for myself and the trials and tribulations, finding parts, diagnosing, all that good stuff. I'm no mechanic. I'm just a weekend warrior, and it's not my full-time job as a mechanic. So everything I figure out, the problems with the car, I do it on my own. So this is a video series basically about the car. Coming up, I'll show you how and why I bought the car.
So this is the one that started for me. I was 16 years old and on a Florida vacation with the family, and yeah, that's me in the background with the number 7 shirt on. And I just had my license about, I think about 6 months, and we were down in Florida and at my father's boss's complex. We found this, my brother and I. And the next day we heard it driving away, and I was fixated on it ever since. So that's what got me really wound up about the Lamborghini, the shape, the sound, the whole bit. I quickly learned that I was not going to have the money to afford one of these cars, or the maintenance even on one of them. So while looking for magazines on the automotive shelf, or automotive magazines at the local store, I stumbled across kit car magazines, and on the front was a Lamborghini Countach. And then I realized, well, this is a little more affordable. So, in my late teens, I started collecting all these magazines. I got packs and piles and piles of these things. And from there, it grew to wanting to go and visit some of them. So I actually took a 2-week holidays in my early 20s and went through the U.S. and saw a couple of manufacturers down in the U.S. And I actually traveled up into Canada, and I found a local guy close to me that was building replicas of Fieros and tube frames. And so I was able to watch him and see how the cars went together and what was involved. And I soon learned that I didn't have the knowledge to pull something like this off. And it was still quite a bit of money to actually build them. Huge amount of time and resources needed that I didn't have. So it's quite disappointing for me. Fast forward 20 years, and my wife and I were looking at our next vehicles to purchase. We realized we're getting to the point of our life where it was good timing. We could go for actually getting the kit car. So there was no choice. I really couldn't build one. There was no way it was going to be able to happen. I didn't have the time to be able to put into that with my family and all those good things. So the plan was to look for a used one, and because of all my resources and over the 20 years, I still kept buying all the magazines, watching what was going for sale, so I knew what was out there. First on my list was a car that was actually local to me. It was only about an hour from where I worked. It was this black custom Countach. It's a Countach package that was on the trim package that was on the car. It was actually a great car. It was in good shape. It was actually a great candidate. The big problem was I'm about 6 feet tall, and I could not fit in that car. The fellow that built it did a great job, and it was basically built for him, and I don't know what size he was, but he certainly wasn't 6 feet, and there was no way I could get in there. My feet would not get under the dash, and my head was cocked to the side just to even get in there. So it was a no-go, and too bad. It was a nice car. So I had to move on to the next one. Now I'm in Canada, and the next ones I was looking at were all in the U.S. In Canada, we have you can't import a kit car unless it's over 15 years old. So when I was looking at cars, this was actually in the winter, and I decided I'd put it off and wait until the spring to actually go visit and see the cars. But this was one of the next ones I had in mind, which is custom, another custom similar to the black one. They're Bill Kenzer's car out of Texas. And the other one I was looking at was this Euro Works car. and a Prova that was out of Florida as well. So these are all cars that were I had lined up to go see in the spring. And keep in mind it was the recession, and there seemed to be more cars than usual available. Usually I only saw one good one a year, and as you can tell by all those cars, I like to get ones that were authentic and as close to the originals as possible. And they're always tough to find. There's usually only one a year, but I got lucky and there was about 4 available, and I think it was because of the recession. So anyways, I was waiting until spring to pick one of those up or go check them out when this popped up. It was great because it was in Ottawa, which is in Canada, eh? And basically about 4 hours from where I live, so I could go see the car. But it was a lot of time. It was around Christmas that it popped up, and I was just doing my regular internet search and found it. So I went up, took a look at it, and test drive later, it was on a truck and on its way to see me. I get cars like this, and the ones I was showing you, vary in what they're made of, and none of the ones I was looking at were Fieros. They're all tube chassis, custom tube chassis, which is a little higher end, and because they're authentic wheelbase, close to authentic, so they go for a little bit more. But to go back when I was looking at these, they went for anywhere between $30,000 and $55,000. And this one that I got here was right about the middle of that. And because it was in Canada, it was made a good fit for me. It did have its issues and some things I had to work on, but I was okay with that. Well, the car showed up in February and got put into storage, and it was probably the coldest day we had had in a long time during that winter. And it was going into heated storage, so I was happy about that. We had to clean the car up out in the freezing cold with some squirt bottles and get it packed away, and this is me backing it up for the first time, learning how to do that. And we got it into the storage, and before I left the storage, I took a bunch of pictures, and to keep my sanity while I was in there for a few months, I got started with the whole website thing, and put the website up, which evolved into the blog. And kept my sanity while it was tucked away, because I at least got to see some more pictures and do something with it. Me narrating is not what this is mostly going to be about. It's me basically driving the car, working on it, just going to shows and videoing the problems that come up with it. I tell you, whether I'm going to shows with the car, fixing it, or just sitting there in the garage staring at it, I must say I love having this thing. See ya.